Okay, we're going to begin in child's pose with our wrists on the foam roller. Sitting back, your knees can be hip distance apart or together, whatever feels comfortable on your low back. Palms are facing in towards one another. We're going to inhale, imagining our pelvis pulling towards our heels, and exhale, the inner thighs pull back to whatever's behind you, deepening, pulling you into a deep stretch for your lumbar. As you're breathing, let's hook into some Ujjayi breath, which sounds like the ocean or Darth Vader on your exhales. So inhaling through the nose or mouth and exhaling at the same tempo as you pull yourself back just a little more each time, deeper into your child's pose. On your next exhale, I'd like you to angle that foam roller on the diagonal to the right. And you're going to do the same thing with your body, just coming on that diagonal, getting a deeper stretch in the opposing side body QL area. Inhale, pelvis pulls down to the floor. Exhale, inner thighs pull back. This deepens the posture. Inhale. Exhale, Ujjayi breath. Find a tempo as you're breathing that works for you. Maybe it's a 3-count inhale and a 3-count exhale, or 4, 5, 6, whatever you'd like. We want to stay consistent with our tempo, allowing oxygen to flow to the muscles as we strengthen and release and stretch them today. Another 2 full inhales and exhales here, and then you'll move through center, making your way to the left. So child's pose is a nice grounding pose. It helps you connect with your root chakra. And this is the chakra that allows you to feel safe and grounded and secure. So you can always come back to this pose at any point during the program today if you're feeling overwhelmed or your body's saying, enough, I just need to rest. I need to come into a safe posture. So if you haven't made your way over to the left side, go ahead and do so. And be gentle with yourself today. This is level 1, Kyphotic Lordotic and Lordosis Posture Yoga. We're going to teach you the fundamentals of good yoga poses for your posture and your skeletal structure. And we're also going to use bands and resistance to build strength and awareness of alignment along the way. Give me 2 more inhales and exhales, and then we're going to make our way to a seated position to put on our heaviest loop band. We're going to bring it around our outer thighs, and we're going to come to lie supine on our mat. We're going to begin an ab series. This is a great one for recruiting all the muscles of the abs. We're going to be also activating the central hamstrings, which are weak with lordosis. So it's a win-win for the lower body and the upper body. Once you find yourself in your supine position, go ahead and bring your hands to your hips. And what I'd like is for your thumbs to be on the bony protrusions of your hips and the rest of your fingers to be on your outer thigh pointing down towards your feet. So if your thumbs can reach the bony protrusions of your hips, great. If they can't, aim for it. And I want you to think about widening your pelvis, pulling out on those bony protrusions out to the side, and then pulling your pelvis down towards your feet. We want to keep the obliques long as we work our abs today without allowing the front ribs to spray forward. So you also need to soften your front ribs in towards the back ribs and imprint your back body into the mat. Lots to think about as you're working. Hands are going to remain on the hips, and I'm going to cue some energy work with the hands on the hips so that you know where the energy line should go on the breath. Inhale both legs into the air, keeping them hip distance apart. Plantar flex your toes, pointing the toes, sending energy through them. We're going to keep the legs hip distance apart for all exercises here today. I want you to begin by just lowering your non-dominant leg down on your exhale. And then you're going to inhale it back up. And as you do, you're going to pull your pelvis down towards the bottom of the mat, thinking about that wide pelvis with the thumbs in the bony protrusions of your hips. exhale, lowering the leg down. Same leg will stay on the same side, pointing the toes. And inhale, the pelvis lengthens as you bring the leg up. Think about the inner thighs pulling that leg down, so they're pulling down. And then inhale, pelvis lifts up. Good. So that pelvis lifting is internal. It's the pelvic floor lifting in and up, like you're stopping your stream of pee, and it's the pelvis tucking under a little into pelvic flexion so you don't recruit your quads or hip flexors. So you can almost think about you're pulling down in your pelvis, and your pelvis is curling under and reaching for your feet that are up in the air. So the belly button is pulling in towards the spine deeply. You've got those lower pelvic floor. Give me one more on the first side. Now I'd like you to exhale, bending both knees, planting both feet on the ground, hip distance apart. Hands at your side. Inhale, lifting the hips into the air into a glute bridge. Feel free to interlace the hands under the back, pressing that fist into the floor and widening the collarbone, opening up the front of the shoulders. Inhale 1, hold it here. Exhale 1. Inhale 2. Exhale 2. Inhale 3. Exhale 3, releasing the clasp of the hands. Exhale, peeling upper back, lower back to the floor. Go vertebrae by vertebrae, articulating the spine. Once the tailbone hits, inhale, lifting both legs up, reaching that pelvis for the toes, pointing the toes. And exhale, let's send our dominant leg down this time. Bringing the hands to the hips again, pulling the pelvis down, feeling the length. Widen the collarbone, plug the shoulders down the back, engaging your scapular stabilizers. And each exhale is a chance to condition your pelvic floor because you're doing that ujjayi ocean breath. You can always come back to the ujjayi breath in child's pose if you're feeling overwhelmed. 2 more sets here. Take it down and up. And 1 more. Exhale down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend the knees. Feet come to the ground, hip distance apart. Inhale, send those hips into the air. Glute bridge. Take a clasp of the hands, but switch the clasps so the fingers are facing in towards you. Push the palms down into the floor, or the fist rather. Widen the collarbone, plug the shoulders down the back, open your throat. We want to keep that chin from dropping to the chest here, engaging the neck flexors to do so. Feel your pelvis reaching towards your feet, long, long torso. And on your next exhale, go ahead and articulate your spine from the top to bottom, lowering yourself down. Once your tailbone touches, inhale, pelvis reaches long as you send the legs up, pointing the toes. Legs are hip distance apart. From here, we're going to take both legs down. Keep the range of motion small if you have any back issues. Exhale, lowering both legs and inhaling to lift. You can take the hands to the hips. Again, pulling that pelvis down to lengthen it. Feeling like the inner thighs are pulling the legs down, and then the pelvis is lengthening towards the feet as you lift those legs, finding those lower abdominals tugging in and up on the muscles that stop your stream of pee. Go ahead and think about that breastbone softening inward and the front ribs relaxing down towards the floor. Let's do 1 more here. These are really hard, keeping those toes plantar flex. Decrease range of motion if you feel any discomfort in your low back. Soften your facial muscles. From here, take the hands behind the head, keeping the legs up at 90, pointing the toes. We're going to crunch up on an inhale, lower down on an exhale. Inhale to lift, 2, 3. Exhale to lower. 2, 3, 4 more. Inhale, lift. 2, 3. Exhale, lower. 2, 3. Inhale, lift. 2, 3. Hold it up. Lower one leg down. Let's start with that non-dominant leg. Take it down. 2, 3. Inhale, lift it up. 2, 3. One more on this side. Take it down. 2, 3, isometric hold of the upper body. The leg is moving. Now switch to that dominant leg. 2 more. Here we go. Take it down. 2, 3. Inhale, lift it up. 2, 3. Last one. Exhale, 2, 3. And inhale, 2, 3. Bend the knees, lowering both the upper and lower body to the mat. Exhale the air out. Good job.